And all new at 6, KXAN News investigates contract conflicts at CapMetro. Tonight, an $800,000 contract signed without approval from CapMetro's board. We've also uncovered documents showing how outside attorneys were allowed to change their hourly billing rates, all paid for with your tax dollars. KXAN investigative reporter Nancy Wilson has been covering CapMetro for us for the past 9 months. She's here live with the latest revelations. Nancy?
Well, Robert, as a result of our investigation, CapMetro's board is already making changes. Now, it didn't take us long to find one problem after another when reviewing how CapMetro oversees its contracts with outside law firms. We requested the contracts because we wanted to see why CapMetro budgeted $1.5 million to pay outside law firms when they have a legal team of their own. What we discovered is that when it comes to certain contracts, CapMetro disregards the policies that's supposed to safeguard taxpayer dollars.
We think that's inappropriate. We've addressed it. It doesn't happen anymore. It won't happen again.
Mike Martinez is Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Austin. He's also the chairman of the CapMetro Board, pledging to change policy as a result of this KXAN Austin News investigation, specifically CapMetro's policy that requires board approval for any contract over $100,000. It's plainly written on its website, but we found it doesn't always happen. This one-year contract with Eubank and Byram Law Firm is for $803,000. That's 8 times the amount required to get board approval. It never did.
What we've been told is that there was a recurring practice that legal contracts were considered outside of that realm.
That's what we were told, too. Initially, the manager of CapMetro's legal department told us our procurement policy doesn't require legal contracts to be approved by the board. So we asked to see the policy. Guess what? It's not there, so we ask again. This time, the manager told us it was a practice and not addressed in the policy. She claims not getting board approval is industry standard. We found that's not true either, according to other transit authorities we asked. In fact, we found other transit authority boards not only approve contracts, but they go into detail about why they are hiring the law firms. It's all documented online. For comparison, the Dallas Area Rapid Transit website shows contracts are openly voted on by the board. VIA's board in San Antonio does too, as does the board of Orlando's Link system. That's where CapMetro's new CEO, Linda Watson, is coming from. Link's board approves legal contracts and any extensions of contracts, like this one we found available to the public online. This is not the case at CapMetro, but Vice Chairman John Langmore says it should be.
You know, there's no reason not to have legal contracts be approved by the board.
Then there is the issue of enforcing those contracts. We found CapMetro is lax when it comes to making sure taxpayers aren't being overcharged for services. For example, the contract with Andrews Kurth says attorney Cassie Stinson will be paid $450 an hour. A few months later, here come invoices billing at $545 an hour. Then it jumps to $570 an hour a few months after that. In this contract with Brown McCarroll, Kenneth Ramirez is supposed to be paid $350 an hour, but soon after, his bills jump by $100 to $450 an hour. The contract says the hourly rate for a paralegal is $80 an hour, but CapMetro paid $175 an hour. How'd that happen?
And we had a staff member that simply approved it.
Every invoice was approved by this woman, Cynthia Martinez, the manager of CapMetro's legal department. The board chairman says the practice is inappropriate.
Once we sign an agreement, the agreement is for this specific amount. It must remain as such. And if it is to be changed, if a firm does change their rates, they cannot change their rates in any existing agreement without approval of CapMetro, and that is the practice now moving forward.
Both board members are committed to change what has been the status quo.
You know, the buck stops on the board's desk. We need to provide leadership that, you know, our practices have to be perfectly sound in every regard. This is public money, and they need to know that it's being well spent.
Now, each contract states law firms must ensure their bills comply with the terms of the contract. Two of the firms mentioned in our story, Andrews Kurth and Brown McCarroll, have acknowledged the overpayments and are issuing refunds. Now, we're still waiting to hear back from the other firms. Now, CapMetro's official purchasing policy has a list of potential consequences for situations like this. It says employees who approve unauthorized payments may face disciplinary action, including being held personally liable for the payment. Robert, we'll let you know what happens on this.
Nancy, thank you as always. Well, these are just some of the issues we wanted to investigate when we asked to see Capital Metro's legal invoices last October. Capital Metro did not want us to see them, and when the Texas Attorney General ruled they had to turn them over, Capital Metro hired an outside attorney to file suit. We've intervened in the suit in order to stress the importance of your right to know how the agency is spending your tax dollars. We'll keep you posted on what happens.